So my name is Rachael Carman. I am a mom just like you are. I have 7 children. I've been married to the love of my life for 31 years, and we enjoy daily life together, enjoying good books, having fun in the front yard, walking on the porch, that kind of thing. So my husband and I own Apologia. We've owned it now for 10 years, or at least that will be true in June. It is a Christian-based science and worldview curriculum provider for homeschool families, K through 12. When I say Christian-based homeschool curriculum, what I mean fundamentally is we believe in creation by God. So that is our perspective. And when I say worldview curriculum, I'm talking about the significance of understanding that we all have a worldview. It's like a pair of sunglasses that you put on. And when you have those sunglasses, they affect everything that you see. So if your sunglasses are pink, the world looks pink. So we believe that knowing what your worldview is and embracing that, maybe even adjusting it so that you can live the life that you want to live, that's really important to know about and to teach your children about.
Why did you and Davis decide to homeschool your kids?
Okay, so we got into homeschooling not because we wanted to. We're kind of the weird people. There's a lot of people who got into homeschooling. They always dreamed about it. When they were first pregnant, they were looking forward to homeschooling. Not us. I actually made fun of homeschoolers to their face. I thought it was a crazy idea. And then through circumstances of life, we ended up pulling out our oldest son and starting our homeschool journey together. And it has just been remarkable. The relationships that have come out of that, I never would have thought in a million years that it would turn out to be the adventure that it's been. I'm so grateful. I've gotten to know him, and we had more children than we probably would have if we had not home educated, but it's been a great adventure for our family.
So you talk about the relationships that have come out of it. Talk a little bit about your family dynamic and what it looks like for the relationships in your family.
So like I said, we have 7 children, and at this point in our journey, we have 5 graduates. So we have 5 out of the house and just the 2 youngest sons. So we have 2 boys, 3 girls in the middle, and then 2 boys at the other end. And really the thing that's been the biggest blessing to our family has been the relationships that have been born out of home education. They are such good friends. So my 2 oldest sons are both married, and at each other's weddings, they were each other's best man. But the speeches that they gave to each other as the best man, I mean, there was not a dry eye in the room. And even now, they're in college, all the girls are in college, and they call each other all the time for hints on relationships, on how to study for a test better, but they're constantly talking to each other, and that's really the blessing to me.
That's great. Talk a little bit about what it's like to homeschool through high school, because many parents, of course, there are those who say, well, I could never homeschool at all.
Right.
And so they just don't. And then there are those who say, well, I could homeschool maybe through the elementary years, but I could never do high school. So you've done high school. What does that look like for your family? How can you encourage that mom or dad who is feeling like, I'm not a high school teacher, I could never homeschool through high school?
Yeah, and it does loom almost like the monster, this homeschooling, people dread high school. So they're like, oh, I can do elementary, we can do reading, and we can do numbers, but junior high and high school just is terrifying. Well, I would say that for me, the junior high and high school years have been the most rewarding because of the conversations we've been able to have, the debates that we've had, the literature we've read together, the movies that we've discussed together. I just think it's the richest time because, again, it's another added dimension to those relationships and a depth of discussing real life issues. It's no longer just soccer field or just playground things. We're talking about life issues, what really, really matters, and having those discussions. And I want to have those discussions with my kids. I don't want to relegate that to somebody else. I want us to be investing in each other.
Yeah, I agree. What do you say to the mom who says, I could never homeschool. I don't have what it takes. I'm not educated enough. I could never do that. How would you answer her?
Well, when it comes to the mom who thinks that they can't homeschool at all, I would strongly disagree because I really believe of anybody on the planet, if those kids are in your home, you're qualified to teach them and you care more about them than anyone else. The best paid teacher does not care about your kids as much as you do. They don't have as much invested in your kid. And look, I used to be a teacher. So as much as I cared for the students that I had in my classroom, they weren't my kids. And now that I'm at home with my kids, the challenges that they have, the interests that they have, the struggles that they have, I'm more interested in finding ways to help them solve those issues than I would have been if I was in the classroom. And not because I wouldn't have cared in the classroom, but because I was limited in my ability to actually affect change. Mom, you really can do this. You really, really can do this. As you lean into it and you start to reap the rewards of those conversations with your kids and start learning who they are, it's really not as impossible as it may seem.
Tell me about the importance of community. Have you found that to be important in your family, to be involved with others who are doing the same thing?
Certainly. We really need each other, right? So there are bad homeschool days, just like there are bad school days in any setting. So there are bad homeschool days, and you really need a group of people that it's safe to call. And I know that there have been people that I've called, and I can't even say anything on the other end of the phone because it's been that bad of a day. And there are people that can call me. I think we need safe spaces when we've made this decision, because it does seem crazy and it is out of the ordinary. But we need to do it in a community where we can encourage each other and remember why we're doing it, for the relationships. Foundationally, those relationships really do matter. So yeah, community is key. It's key for your kids, so they're not awkward, right? They need to engage and have conversations with other kids and see other kids like them navigating life and doing their math and doing their reading. So we've done co-ops, we've done choirs, we've done speech and debate tournaments, just a variety of different things so that all of us can have the support we need.
Okay, Rachael Carman, take 2. Good. So I'm going to ask you one more question, and then we're going to do the encouragement. What is your, you've graduated 5.
We have.
So you have 2 at home. What was your hope for them and having educated them at home? And what is your hope for the 2 that you still have at home?
Okay, wow, that's an interesting question. So I would say my hope for my ones that have already graduated would be that they would love learning, that they would be engaged with the culture and with society and with other people and have the important conversations in life. I think it's really easy to just want the academics without the ability to actually have the conversations. But I want them to be able to have the conversation and be able to engage. And so that meant a lot of long dinners at our house. So we would have dinner on the table and we would eat it and we would have long conversations for like an hour or 2 afterwards. But I think that that's actually what's happened. And I think that's what the youngest 2 boys really miss with everybody gone, because it's just a conversation with mom and dad now. But that's been a huge thing. And then again, that they would still really love each other and call each other and invest in those relationships.
Let's do the encouragement at the very end. So on this one, you're going to just look straight into the camera. And this is going to be at the end of the movie. We're going to just do a bunch of short clips of just, you can do this. So, okay, Rachael Carman, take 3.
Hey mom, hey dad, yes you can, yes you can. There's 1,000 different reasons why you should jump off this cliff and home educate your children. It reinforces your family relationships, all the books you can read, all the conversations you can have. You can have the family that you've always wanted. It just means stepping out and making that decision to home educate your children. Look, I didn't even ever want to do this. I made fun of people who took this journey, and yet here I am 21 years later with 5 graduates. You can do this. In fact, I dare you to do this. Hey mom, I get that you get really discouraged and overwhelmed and it feels like the burden of the world is on your shoulders because you're trying to home educate your child. I want to encourage you just to take the next step on this journey because it is so worth it. There's 1,000 different things that discourage you, a whole host of reasons that you can come up with why you should quit. But you really shouldn't quit. Those kids of yours are depending on you to keep on keeping on this journey and finish strong.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes, it's perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.